Here we go. I think we're on. Hello, hello. Welcome, Jai Guru.
Oh, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru Jan. Oh.
And Rami, I wanted to thank you for doing that Google thread. Very, very, very great. And I shared it on the YouTube channel with some of the Guru Purnima celebration. So that was great. Thank you.
I have seen that. Pleasure is mine, sir. Thank you for making others to watch. And I have been asking you, sorry to pull you again. If you are interested to share, the feed, like these messages, you can send it on the mail. I can share it on the group. Definitely, there are, many people who would like to hear from you. So if it is okay for you, I can take screenshot of your email and I can put it in the Jai Guru, Jai Sadguru.
Okay. All right. Let's see how that works. Sounds good.
Okay, John, I'm on my iPhone. I turn but I can see you and I can see, okay. All right.
Ask to start video. There you go.
Okay, hi.
Me
Yeah,
too.
there I am.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Trish also.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to, yeah.
Sorry, hold on. I'll say ask to start video. There you go. And now your video should come on. And there you are. Hello, hello.
Fine, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and I think I have to switch it back so we're in the speaker view and not in the little boxes. There we go. All right, I think that's how we have it.
Yeah.
We got an incomer. Hi, Roberto.
Roberto. Jai Guru.
Roberta.
It's funny because my son and I, we were driving to the movie the other day and he was asking a little bit about, like what does all this mean? And what religion is this? And I said, Connor, honestly, this is the most simple and direct way because you hear the great news that you are formless, that you are not body, you were not body, you're not going to remain body. You hear the great news that your presence within the body. And the master realized this and now is sharing this with you. This is the truth. And I said, it's nice because a lot of people will say, well, how do you know that that's the truth? Well, because it's discoverable. Like it's not, something that is saying do this or don't do that or live this way and don't live this way. It's a very simple thing that it says, okay, your formless presence in the body. And now you have to discover this. And each can discover this because it is the ultimate truth. If it wasn't ultimate truth, it couldn't be discovered. So someone who has discovered this and said, oh, so that I am that, shares this information. And then it's up to the responsibility of the one that's listening to say, okay, so I'm formless presence. Now I have to discover this truth for myself. And that's it. And Master says, sit in meditation and mantra to clear away the thoughts. because the illusory thinking is what's covering over your presence and the idea that you're something or somebody. So this just has to be removed. And then as you're sitting in meditation, you feel that subtle, subtle, subtle presence. Oh, so this is what Master was saying. Master says, I am this. So I hold this. And now I'm discovering, okay, if this, so birth and death, I don't have to have concepts about how birth and death dissolve it's impossible. There is no birth and death. Master says, I'm formless presence. So I sit there in a formless presence. I use the body. And then he says, like a deer, the musk that's arising from the deer, the sense of existence, the I am, the presence that I feel is my own fragrance arising because of this body form. And now I just sit with myself. All concepts dissolve. And I said that the trouble, like Maharaj has stated, is that we've learned so much. Like, how does this fit in with the concepts that I understand? Like, where's Ram in this? Or where's Shiva in this? Or where's Brahma in this? Or where's Maya in this? And these are all the concepts that came along with the body that have to dissolve. Because it's a direct experience. What religion are you? There's no religion, because religion is man-made and you're prior to the existence of the body form. And you know this, so it's just discarded. And that's the most simple way. And he grasped that. He said, okay, so it's up for me. Now that I've heard this, it's now up for me to discover. Yes, that's it.
Awesome. So how old is Connor?
12.
So you are explaining us to like we are all 12 years old.
Yeah, it was, but it was like, that was the explanation. All of us have heard the good news.
Beautiful.
The good news is I'm
Yeah.
formless presence within the body. So now I have to discover this directly for myself. And even just the most subtle discovery, oh, so that I am that. And now I remain here. And I don't get troubled by mind because I remain here. And that's it. And then birth and death, how? And then you understand, oh, so this Maya is the appearance. But I am not that. This appearance comes and goes, but I very much am. Whether the appearance is there or not, the one to whom this appearance appeared is. And now I just remain with myself as self. I spend every waking moment in that direct experience of myself. And then, like Maharaj says, somebody can say, oh, Brahma's like this. Oh, thank you very much. Very good. Because you just know, okay, this person has seen part of the elephant, but Master showed me the whole elephant. So I don't argue with somebody who says the elephant is like the trunk, or the elephant is like the hoof, or the elephant is like the tail, or the elephant is like the stomach, or the elephant is like the ear. I don't argue with this because I've seen the whole elephant. And I absolutely know that within the appearance, nothing is true and nothing is false, because everything is false. Because nothing has happened. You, the formless presence that you are, manifesting through all these forms within your own selfless self, have not changed. The same as the dreamer has not changed in the dream. Although the dreamer takes form, a formless dreamer, obviously formless, we know this because the body is laying down and the sleeping happens and a dream world is projected. So we know that this entire projection in our dream came from nothing, but it appears as something for a time, and then it goes back to nothing. But in that something, we appeared as a form around other forms and saw a world. And then we wake up and we know it's not true. And when we know ourselves in a real sense, we know this illusory world is not true. And yet we don't have to call it illusory world because it's a long dream. As long as this body is available to sustain the essence. And once this body is no longer available, then the dream ends. But you, the dreamer, very much are still formless. The formlessness does not change.
Oh.
But while we are, when I was 12 years old, I think that's about the time I got what's called Protestant confirmation in church, and I had to offer my will to God or Jesus or whatever. And I was trying to do that, but I knew there was something in me holding back. It was my thirst and interest in experience. And I realized, well, I'm going to pursue and value all these interests and things that I think I might want to experience. And I did not see I didn't see that as illusion, because the mind tells you that there's something real to your imaginary interests, and it seems like you're getting something out of it, but it's always kind of a limited sort of value. It doesn't have any. Well, it doesn't. You can always say it doesn't last because you see it. It might be there while you think it's there and feel it, but then you get interested in something else, and then it's gone. So, but you don't notice that it's not real. So,
Well, and like he's 12.
yeah.
So, and see, the misunderstanding, again, a conceptual understanding, is that the spirituality is, oh, now we divorce from the world. We now know the world is illusion. So now we sit in our little bubbles and we know the world is illusion. No.
Yeah.
We still live your life. Enjoy. As a matter of fact, you'll live your life through direct experience with life without this piggyback of a mind interpreting everything that's going on. You'll live directly and you'll see just scenes coming and going. And now, like at 12, I'm not saying, okay, be realized or whatever. No, the questions were asked. So that's obviously the beingness within this body form is asking these questions. And mostly because the listening to these talks, he very much likes to listen to YouTube, mostly just because, oh, there's dad. But of course, this is constant, like this flow, selfless self, the listener and speaker, one and the same. Listener, speaker, one and the same. Only ideas and concepts of being a body are separating the listener and the speaker. But the invisible listener and the invisible speaker are recognition and the projection. Oh, so that I. And yet now the experience is the experience. Go out, enjoy. You're no longer filtering the world. You're experiencing it directly because there's no you there. I'm sorry, Rami, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm getting what you are saying, I think. So you are saying, so no, I mean, don't, so if you are with being, that doesn't mean that you are abstaining from the world, but you are abstaining, seeing the world with the psychological baggage which is the product of I am the body, mind idea. So now you no need to experience the world with its psychological baggage, which is caused with the idea that I am the mind and the body. So that
Yes.
means I can have the food, but there is no need to be no need to experience it an indulgence. I can enjoy it, but no need to be, create memories. Okay, oh, this was good. This will be going to good. No,
Because you're
but I
not
can enjoy it at that
experiencing
moment.
through the false eye. The false
Yes.
eye is the baggage, like you're speaking about. That's why Siddhar Meshra Maharaj says you're carrying a dead body around with you everywhere you go. You come into your work and you drag this dead body behind you. But when there's not this psychological I, this this false I taking credit for everything, then it's just I, formlessly aware as scenes are coming and going, and yet participating fully and allowing it. Maharaj, in one of the videos that I was just doing, he says, yes, it's a food body. Use it. Like, of course, take care of it, feed it, water it, and exercise and these things. It's available. So use it. It's your instrument.
Yep.
But
But
like
the
Rami
problem
was
is,
saying, go ahead.
we experience through our attachments, you know, the whatever is happening around us, right? Whether we try to reject it or try to, you know, accept more. But now you are saying come out of this attachment and experience it. You no
Because
need to
you are
run away
not
from the
body.
experience.
You are not body. We're not body. You're not going to remain the body. So what are these attachments attached to?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the baggage. Yes. This I
And
am the body. Yeah. Idea.
mantra slowly, silently, permanently erases this. You get to feel yourself or know yourself in a real sense. And now that you know yourself in a real sense, you sit with meditation until the conviction is also that I am that. I feel the sense of presence. Master says I am presence. This is the presence, and here I am. I use the body as an instrument to know myself in a real sense.
John, something clicked, during this conversation. You were saying this, something because of this body, the feeling of, I exist is there. Now, I'm not talking about, whatever that ultimate sense you are saying, but this existence feeling, something clicked, behind all this experience, like as Nisarata Mara says, right? And it's like innate, this is there is one experience. It's very subtle, but if I'm trying to hold onto that, right, the mind is absent. Just that is
Yes.
there, but it's very momentary. But if I just see little clearly and coming out of it, and I could see that even that is not going anywhere. But when I'm very very much hold on, you know carried away by the mind, then there is this feeling that this is not there, but it is always there, it's always
Yes.
coupled with everything else.
Maharaj talks about it as the fire. As you mentioned, the subtle feeling, the feeling of existence. Nisargadatta Maharaj says the I am. He also says that you are feeling. He mentions that many times in the books. He says, you are. Well, you are is the fire, and it's always burning. It's covered by illusory ash. The mantra removes the ash. And the more you know this fire, your whole attention is on this.
Okay, now question is, so now you recommend to just try to go back there as much as I can, is it?
And yes, to remain with that sense of presence, the existence, the I am, that you are feeling, the very, very subtle feeling. That's the meditation when you sit
But
and just be here. Because then the more you're here, As you mentioned, mind is gone
Mhm.
and you are just here.
But
Just die, just die. You know this now. Now you know yourself in a real sense. So how can this have disturbance with ego, mind, intellect? It cannot. How can this have birth and death? It cannot. So all the problems of the worldly problems is this false I claiming to exist, and that's just the illusory layer over the fire that needs to be removed using mantra and meditation. The subtle, just die, just die. That's why Nisargadatta Maharaj and Ramakant Maharaj say when you arise in the morning, that kind of fuzzy kind of feeling before the world starts up and it's I'm Rami in the world, need to go to work and all that, you have just die prior to the mind, then the mind starts to gear up. But you are the one that did not sleep, did not dream, and does not have a waking state. You're the background where all experience ends. There you are.
okay, John, but for me, as here the question is now, if one tries to go this experiences in the mind and try to be in that natural state, or that purer state than mind, that being, in that being, mind is stop functioning. But the way you are talking, right, you know there is no issue with the coming of mind or going of the mind is not impacting. But for me, when I just come out of this sense, right, again everything appears, everything is there, and the even the more tension is coming, like where I have gone,
And
the
then
moment
again, and what you're saying, that's why it's continuous. You try to remain with yourself. Nisargadatta Maharaj says he remained with himself in every given moment. See, Master has said you're formless. You've now discovered this subtle formlessness for yourself. Now remain there as often as possible. Find yourself as the background of every experience. Whatever you may be doing, you are there. And so you just be here. And of course, again, Nisargadatta Maharaj talked about the tenants. All these tenants have been using you rent free. The mind, ego, intellect, all the thoughts, all the worries, all the troubles, all these things. So these tenants are abusing you as you're leaving. But the more you remain with your selfless self, these tenants, they're leaving. That's it. You remain. Tenants can be busy. Oh, Rami, you're terrible. Okay. I just remain with myself. Because this is the most important discovery. You have a human body for this. And this, as you have mentioned, you feel this. It is, as they use the example of the musk deer, the fragrance coming from the deer and the deer jumping around trying to get the fragrance. This body is allowing you to feel the sense of existence, the you are, just I, the I am. So now you can use this body and know yourself in a real sense. And as Nisargadatta Maharaj has said, the more you remain with the I am, all secrets will be revealed. The secrets are, you are not body, you were not body, you're not going to remain the body. There is no birth, there is no death. You are more subtle than anything. And this mind came along with the body and can only produce thoughts about the illusory world, which you know is not true, when you remain with yourself.
okay, so the understanding is, if this whatever this being sense, right, if one tries to attend or be in that sense, then automatically the concepts which causing this tension or the fear or this everything, they gradually dissolve, if one
Like a black
tries to.
hole,
Okay.
like a
Oh,
black hole. it pulls in everything into that you are.
Got it.
And eventually it's like a separation. It's just like, oh, I'm not this. And I just remain here. And yet this can be observed. This illusory existence can be observed and participated in fully, but there's no longer a position that I'm in it. It's just scenes appearing and disappearing. And mind ceases. There's no mind. Reflection of selfless self in a clean mind. The mirror of knowledge reflecting. And it's just like the gym, Rami. If you go to the gym and you start to pick up a 5-pound weight, then eventually you go 10-pound weight, and you have to work out every day and this and that. Same thing. Remain with your selfless self. Before Maharaj, this sense of presence was just small as a dime, but I went back every time into it and felt it growing until it eventually grew and led me to Maharaj, where I could say, oh, I've met my master, and now my mind gets to see me physically surrender everything to this master. I met my master before I met him in form. And I was able to surrender because the mind would say, oh, you're crazy. This is all, and people around are very happy to say this too. You know, just go to church, be a nice guy, go to church, do some prayers, everything's good. But it was different. There was a sense of presence that was just so strong and so beautiful. And I wanted to remain with that as much as possible until it brought me to its own self. And this mind looked and saw, okay, I get to surrender anything that's me left. And then Maharaj says very beautifully, you are not body, you are not body, you're not going to remain the body. Presence is all there is. The entire world is projected on presence. And you are that. And now, in case this mind starts up, we'll give you this mantra. When the mind begins, you remain with the mantra, and slowly, silently, permanently, all the illusory concepts are dissolved. It's the antivirus software. Your wrong thinking, wrong files are the virus. This removes. You mentioned it beautifully. You said there's something subtle, and then on top, sometimes it, and that's, now you can, what you just said, you picture exactly what Maharaj said about the fire and the ash. And take what you just said and know that this is the explanation for what you said and what you felt that Master gave to you. We are all so blessed because we have heard the good news and have sat with the formless presence that knew itself in a real sense and was willing to take the egoistic sense of, I am Maharaj and you are disciple. Just like Siddhartha Maharaj said that he did for him. He said, I'm formless, I'm nothing. But I take ego and drop down as master to disciple. Only so that the understanding can be cleaned. Whatever concept you're holding about yourself is not true. I like your dolphin, Trish.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I just saw that. That's very nice.
And a better view of the dolphin.
Dolphins are as intelligent as
There they are.
humans.
Yeah,
More dolphin.
very nice.
That's called pod.
Mhm.
Dolphins.
She said something earlier about you don't have to, the way I interpret it was something to do with don't have to deny the illusion or something, but I was thinking in terms of it's not so much denial, but discernment sort of takes the place of what what normally we might call denial. We become able to discern. And I was thinking that mantra isn't the discernment itself, but it seems like it somehow opens the room to make discernment possible.
Yeah, clears the way, because right now the conceptual thinking is like rapids, whitewater rapids in a river, how rapids are like very bubbling and so fast moving. And mantra allows it to calm a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
And then you can tell the difference between what's limited and what isn't.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a nice, calm lake. And in that calm lake, the reflection of your own self, like they talk about I think Nisargadatta Maharaj uses the analogy of the moon on the lake. And this is you're knowing yourself directly, but you're not the image in the lake. And the lake is calm enough that you can discern this. Am I this image in the lake or the moon? You see, which is real? Although the moon appears real in the lake on a calm lake, you would not be able to see this with the rapids. If the moon was appearing in the rapid river, it would just seem like some flashing light and disturbed, which is the same with this flow of illusory thoughts. So mantra allows you to slowly, silently, permanently calm the river. It moves more slowly until it just kind of comes to the pond and it's smooth as glass. Then the reflection can easily be seen. The discernment of I am not anything to do with the body. I'm just this very, very subtle presence. What is disturbing this presence? Nothing. Somebody insults the body. Okay, you're not insulting the presence. The body is a label and it's an instrument. It's like somebody says, you know what? I don't like your car. Okay, you don't like my car. That's okay. Oh, you don't like this body. Okay, that's okay too. Because I'm not body. And I absolutely know, once I know myself in a real sense, then others will not be there. You see, my presence is in every being. So there's no longer me speaking with you. There's just speaking.
That's a weird feeling. Sometimes you actually see yourself in everything. I don't know how else to say it.
Yes. Well, and the more you do this, the more you remain with yourself. Again, the entire world is a projection on your spontaneous presence. In my own experience, I would sit there and look at the cashier and look kind of eye to eye and feel that presence between the two. And knowing that it's the same presence in this body that's in this body. Of course, you don't want to stare at the person for too long, but you feel that recognition in the projection.
You can almost feel that the other person's feeling it too sometimes, that like sometimes when I notice when I'm feeling good, it seems to communicate and other people are feeling good at the same time, not because of me necessarily, but it just kind of happens together or something. It's nice.
Yeah, Rami, I had a hard time reading your message, but you said you felt a current running in your head.
He's blanked out right now, his voice.
Yeah, electricity. Yeah. The subtle feeling. Just know that this is the truth, and all the projections of the mind and all the things that you're supposed to be worrying about are not. And this is not an experience. See, because as soon as you say, oh, I'm experiencing myself, then all experience is in the illusory time. So it begins and it ends. But this experience is a direct experience of your own selfless self. It does not end. It's just covered up when you start to think about other stuff, or when you start to move about and your attention is away from yourself. It's covered, but it's always there. And if something is covered, it means it can be discovered in any moment because it's there.
Yeah, I always noticed when I was young that, like, especially when I was a teenager, I was so wrapped up in my mind about myself all the time. It's like, give me a break. I got to stop thinking about myself. And I'm starting to lose where I was going with this. But then I noticed also at other times, I could just feel like I was myself, kind of spontaneously, and not be bothered by that. It just kind of felt good, and that's when I was communicating with others well, and I felt like I was joining in, and I didn't really care at that point, or in that state. I didn't care what others thought of me or not. Just wasn't a concern at the time, and so it's like I could see the difference between the two states. And I always wanted to. So that's been the struggle my whole life, of course, is to get there. And thanks to this happens more and more now. Not by choice, but just by the practice, I guess. But
Communicating formlessly.
when I was stuck in the mind, you're in it, and there's seems like there's no way out, and but sometimes you are out of it, and if we can
remember, you're supplying the power to the mind. So the more attention you give to the mind, it's like you're sitting there pumping it up, and giving it energy, giving it power. And then you're flowing along with this mind thinking that, oh, now I'm lost in thought.
You don't even realize
it's not true.
Yeah.
But see, that's when you look for yourself. Because all these illusory thinking, the background is your own self. You can find yourself in any moment. Because you're always there. You're not going anywhere. It's just that you get carried away by illusory thinking and illusory layers of thinking and conceptualizing. But you're always there. And that's why Maharaj rightly says, where all experience ends, there you are.
But my mind wants to come up with a concept of what it's like to be there all the time, and that's not. You're missing the point, I guess, when you do that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to make yourself into an experience, because all experience by its nature has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But when you experience yourself directly, you are always there, and now you know yourself. So this mind can't say, oh, we had it, now we don't. No,
That's right.
you're always there.
Is there?
You don't come and go. If you came and went, how would this would be like you just disappear off of everything, you cannot do this.
Yeah, the screens would be flashing on and off or something each time you were there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't come and go. Only through this conceptual thinking process can you come and go. But you're the one who's giving the power to this coming and going. You don't come and go.
Right.
Even in dream, as a dreamer, dream world appears, something came out of nothing. You play for a time, dream disappears, dreamer does not. Otherwise, there couldn't be a sleeping, because you would just be gone. You'd lay down tonight and that's it, you're done.
That's